Okay, so the topic of my presentation today is basic Spanish phrases that you should know. Why should you be learning Spanish? Well, according to the New York Post, the U.S. has more Spanish speakers than Spain, and it is the second most Spanish-speaking country in the world, only behind Mexico, and maybe not for long. The U.S. Census Office suggests that the U.S. will have 138 million Spanish speakers by 2050, which would be the biggest Spanish-speaking nation on Earth. So there are a lot of Spanish speakers in the United States. Chances are you're going to run into one. I know I've met some just in Mount Vernon, so really cool. And people are amazed if you can speak their language, even if it's just a simple phrase. Imagine being somewhere else, like in a different country, no one speaks your language, you don't see any of the signs in your language, you have absolutely no idea what's going on, and then all of a sudden someone says, "Hey, hello, how are you?" You feel very comfortable and very grateful that they are able to speak your language and kind of maybe just, it's just a familiar face, a familiar phrase, and reminds you of home. So it's just a very good thing to be able to speak and communicate with people, especially other languages. And so I'm going to go through 10 of the most common phrases that I've been hearing lately. I'm living in Mexico right now. So number one is hola. Probably you already know this one. It just means simply hello. So hola. Cómo estás means how are you? This is very common. You'll go by, talk to people on the street. Like if you pass people on the street, hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? And the response to that is bien. That means good. Most of the time, even if you're not doing well, people just say bien. Where I'm in Mexico, they're very, very happy all the time, so it's very weird to say like mal, which would be bad. You say bien, I'm doing bien. Okay, next one is ¿qué onda? And literally this means what wave, but they use it as a slang term for what's up. So sort of like ¿cómo estás? But a little more slang. So you might hear this one. Okay, number 5 is mucho gusto, and that means nice to meet you. So if you meet someone new or you shake hands, something like that, mucho gusto, like pleased to meet you, very nice. Yeah, so those are polite phrases that facilitate interaction. So now I'm going to move on to some other phrases that can maybe help you navigate in situations. So number 6, hablas inglés. This one's very important because you're asking if someone speaks English. So if you're having trouble understanding something, you say, "Hablas inglés?" And they go, "Oh, sí," and then they can explain it to you in English because they know that's what you speak. Sometimes they'll say no, and you go, "Oh, okay," and then you have to try to figure out something else to say. This has happened to us a few times, but you get through the situation, it's fine. Okay, number 7 is adelante, which means ahead, and this is used a lot like next in line, like come over here. At the grocery store, they'll say adelante, or at the airport when I got there, that means just next. But it was a weird phrase to me, I didn't recognize it, so that's a good one to know because it's used quite often. Okay, the next one is no entiendo. That means I have absolutely no idea what you're saying. I do not understand. A lot of people want to use comprende as like I don't comprehend what you're saying, but it's really common. People might give you a weird look if you try to say that. No entiendo means I don't understand. So that's more common, and people will understand that you don't understand. So that's very important too, because you need to find a different way to communicate. Hand signals, pictures, something like that. So no entiendo, good one to remember. Con permiso. Okay, this one was really weird. It's like with permission, literally, but it means excuse me. So you use this when you enter someone's house. Like we get water from people, and they'll bring in the jugs, and when they walk in, they say con permiso. Just like kind of excuse me, like you wouldn't do that in the United States, but they'll say this a lot. They will say that when they leave the table at the restaurant, they'll say con permiso. Also, you use this like as excuse me. You don't say like lo siento, like sorry. We're in the movie theater and we're like trying to get around people like in our row, and so you say con permiso, not like sorry like you do in the U.S. So there's that one. Then buen provecho. This means like good meal. It's kind of hard to translate. It's like when the waiter comes by and brings your food, and everyone's like set, ready to go, but you haven't started eating yet, and they'll say Buen Provecho, like it's almost like a blessing over your meal, sort of. In the United States, it kind of be like, enjoy your meal, and then you leave. Like, it's like the last thing you say, like, before you start eating, but, like, it's a very weird thing, but they say it all the time. Like every restaurant I'm gonna go to, if you don't say Buen Provecho, it's, like, bad. So, that's what they're saying when they're bringing your food. It's just a nice little thing. Okay, I said I was going to give 10, but I'm going to give 11. This word is very, very important. It's embarazada, and it sounds like embarrassed. And so it sounds like a cognate. It sounds like, oh, yeah, I know what that word is. Like, oh, estoy embarazada. Like, I am so embarrassed that this happened to me. That is not what it means at all. It actually means pregnant. So a lot of people will try to say, like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, and they actually end up saying I'm pregnant, which makes the situation way more embarrassing. So please be aware that embarazada is no embarrassed. It's pregnant. So if someone says that they're pregnant to you, or they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. So we went through all the different phrases for Spanish, so hopefully you learned something new. With the growing amount of Spanish speakers in the U.S., learning Spanish is definitely a very good thing to learn. And just remember that a smile and a simple phrase can go a long way. Thanks for watching.